Could you please tell us something about cashews tree?
Well, cashew is a perennial crop. Therefore, sowing or planting the cashew is once in 20, 30 or 40 years. A good cashew tree can survive for 60, 70 years. Cashew, though, is a very robust tree. The yield from the cashew is so dependent on the weather. Unseasonal rains can completely destroy cashew yield. We had the experience last year where the cashew yield was almost reduced to 1/3 because we had unseasonal rains. So climate change is going to, one of the first crops to be affected by climate change globally is going to be cashew. And therefore, what I said earlier, that the environmental issues are so important to farmers because their survival depends on predictable rainfall, seasonal rainfall, and the avoidance of unseasonal rains which could destroy an entire crop for them.
When is the time of harvesting, and is it an handmade or mechanized?
The harvesting of cashew. Cashew is an annual crop, and the harvesting in Kerala takes place between February and June. We start the harvest by mid-February and we have to end it before the rains, which means end March practically, because on 1st of June monsoon hits Kerala. So this is the period within which the harvesting has to take place. The flowering takes place in December. By February the fruits mature and the cashews fall. It is harvested for 3 months' time. It's a completely, there's nothing mechanical about it. You have to pick each cashew after cashew after cashew every day from the field, and by the time the cashew harvest is nearing, the field below is cleared so that all the cashew that falls can be detected. The cashew nut is detached from the fruit, and then you sun dry it for a day before you send it to the collection depots.
Who does usually work in the fields? Landowners, paid workers, or family members?
We are an organization of small farmers, so we depend on our own labor for the farm work. Occasionally, for harvest, we do depend on seasonal agricultural workers, but that's never for cashew, but occasionally for coffee. Because we have to harvest all at one time, we might take recourse to very few seasonal workers for harvesting of coffee. Cashew is collected always by the family members themselves. The overall farm work is done by family members, and for very seasonal harvesting period for coffee we might depend on hired labor.
It depends on
Hired labor, workers that are hired for a few days of the harvesting season.
Okay.
Because you have to harvest all at one time, so family members are not enough to finish off the harvest within that quick time, so you hire seasonal workers.
And which is the harvesting season for coffee?
For coffee, the harvesting season is from mid-December to mid-Jan. So December and January months basically is the harvest time for coffee, depending on the season. Sometimes if the rains are late and if the flowering has been delayed by a month, then the harvest can shift to end February, as it is happening now. We are still harvesting our coffee now, even as I am speaking to you. But normal months of harvesting for coffee is December and January.